On this day, it is my privilege to join Chancellor Motley in presenting the John F. Kennedy Award for Academic Excellence to a most deserving student. Julie Suarez, please step forward.
It is especially fitting that today we get to present the John F. Kennedy Award for Academic Excellence to this outstanding student, because today is the birth date of John F. Kennedy, who was born May 29, 1917, and would have been 98 years old today. You know, sometimes, just like all of you, those students who have had enormous impact on the world do so because they have learned from their own experiences, and they seize an opportunity to help improve and transform the same experiences of others. Julie, you are such a student. As an immigrant from Colombia, you have experienced firsthand the challenges of assimilating in a strange country, igniting you in a deep commitment to social justice and a strong desire to make a difference for Latinos in Massachusetts. One of your nominators wrote that you are an individual and a community member who sees her own social justice and intellectual goals as necessarily interwoven with the goals and with the struggles of others. Included among your many accomplishments at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, is your work on a research project with the Dana-Farber Harvard Cancer Center. Your research into the challenges faced by medical interpreters has helped shed light on a vital factor affecting the quality of care received by Latinos and their family. As a double major in women and gender studies and in psychology, you doubled up on me. You have taken your experiences in all facets of your education and channeled them into a desire to pursue graduate work that will allow you to further advance solutions to challenges faced by the Latino communities. In recognition of your accomplishments throughout your time here at our university and your selfless drive to help others, I am pleased to present the 2015 John F. Kennedy Award for Academic Excellence to you, Julie Suarez. JFK Award winner and your speaker for today, Julie Suarez, will now present remarks on behalf of the class of 2015. Come on up here, Julie.
Thank you, Chancellor Motley, for those kind words. Good morning, everyone, and congratulations to the class of 2015. It is truly an honor to stand before you today as the recipient of the John F. Kennedy Award. On behalf of the class of 2015, I would like to thank all of the amazing people that have made this day possible, to our families, friends, and faculty and staff here at UMass Boston. Thank you for providing us with unconditional love and support. and for believing in us even when we lost faith in ourselves. I would especially like to thank my own parents who are with me here today. As the first person in my family to graduate college, this ceremony is as much my own as it is my family's. Thank you. So, when contemplating what to say on such a monumental day, at first I was really at a loss of words because we're such a unique institution. As a commuter school and the only public university in the city of Boston, our university attracts students that are serious about their education. We've had to work tremendously hard to get here, balancing our academics with full and part-time jobs in order to pay for our education and support our families. We juggle extracurricular activities and other commitments. We come from all walks of life and represent nearly every single race and ethnicity in the world. All this makes us quite unique, and quite frankly, makes UMass Boston the best university in the city. There was not a day at UMass Boston where I didn't feel like I learned something new. I learned inside and outside of the classroom. I learned from both faculty and peers because everyone has an individual story to tell, and all of these stories combine to create the rich fabric of this university. I decided to share my thread in this fabric with you today, as it is reflective of many stories. Years ago, I migrated to this country with my parents from Colombia. My parents made the decision to leave their entire lives behind for my well-being. We didn't know a soul in the States, and at first, the culture was almost as perplexing as the language itself. Growing up as an immigrant brought with it a different set of challenges, especially as a child in the public school system. I desperately wanted to be accepted and assimilate into the American life. However, it felt like all my efforts would crumble every new year as the teacher called my name for the first time, July Suarez, and the class would burst into laughter. However, the struggle for the correct pronunciation of my name was nothing compared to what my parents had to endure. For many years, our financial circumstances forced them to take on multiple jobs in order to put food on the table and support our relatives back home. Despite the physical fatigue, I vividly remember that every Sunday, my parents would make the effort to take me out, even if we could only afford a stroll in the mall and a Happy Meal. At the age of 7, I asked my father why he was working so much. I remember how he gently grabbed my hand and told me that everything he and my mother were doing was for me. He told me that he was willing to do the dirty work, to have 3 jobs, blisters, and bruises, so that one day I could go to college and earn a degree. Thank you. My parents taught me about selflessness. Although I might not have been able to articulate it at the time, I understood that my life had a bigger purpose, and I wanted to make sure that someday I paid my parents back for their sacrifice in the form of a college degree. What I couldn't imagine at such a young age is that in the future, I too would find myself at the crossroads of choosing whether to serve selflessly or turn away, and that choosing to serve shaped who I am today. During one of my trips back to Colombia, I decided to volunteer at a rural school in an extremely impoverished community. On my last day at the school, I thought it would be nice to bring the students a treat. So I set off to the store and I stacked up on chips and candy bars. The next day, when I handed out those treats, the reactions the students had to a simple candy bar and a bag of chips was priceless. Children were hugging me joyously and laughter filled the classroom. However, there was a 6-year-old girl in the corner who seemed very torn about her candy. When I asked her if anything was wrong, she told me that she was thankful for the treat, but that she could not eat an entire candy bar, knowing she had 2 younger siblings at home who had never had chocolate before. There I was, thinking I had done such a kind deed providing treats, while this young girl exemplified, like my parents, what it truly means to be selfless. Entering UMass Boston my freshman year, I knew I wanted to join the field of service. UMass Boston literally showed me the way. My first year, I took an introduction to Africana Studies, and both the class and the students set the tone for the rest of my experience at UMass Boston. I met a classmate who was passionate about racial inequity and mentored at-risk youth at a nonprofit in Dorchester. Another student was a part of the student immigration movement and volunteered at a local nonprofit, devising ways to impact on the legislative level. There were many more students like them, students actively fighting for veterans' rights or advocating for people with disabilities or deeply entrenched in the LGBTQ movement, amongst many others. I was inspired. All of you, my UMass Boston classmates, have consistently inspired me to be a better person and to become more involved in issues that I am passionate about. I realized that my passion was my community, that my purpose in life was to empower Latinos like myself. I realized that the struggle my parents endured was a struggle of all immigrants. I realized that the dilemma that little girl in Colombia had with the chocolate bar was not only a genuine act of selflessness, but a clear example of the level of poverty that plagues so many countries and in turn forces people to flee their homeland. I was fortunate to have this epiphany as a student at UMass Boston, because it was only a matter of time until I crossed paths with mentors like Lorna Rivera and Shoshana Ehrlich, amongst many others, who have helped me become active within my community. I was introduced into the world of research and became involved in projects that were designed to empower the conditions of the Latino community. Most importantly, I learned I could make a difference. My desire to put the needs of others before my own was awakened and strengthened at UMass Boston. This university has had a transformative effect on my life, and I know it has done the same for you. We have all been touched by our peers and by faculty who are hungry for social justice and who devote their lives to selfless acts. Many of us have discovered our own passion for social justice here. So now the question is, where do we go from here? Today we become UMass Boston alumni, and we will be leaving the comfort of our campus home. We are fortunate that this university has equipped each and every one of us with the tools needed to spark the change. Regardless of the fields we enter, I know we will find ways to incorporate giving back to our communities. In his inauguration speech, President Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." This quote has resonated with me many years now because it is the epitome of selflessness. I know that everyone here today has the power and know how to positively impact their communities because this is what UMass Boston gave us. This is a university that is hungry for transformation, and this transformation is fueled by each and every one of us. Because we've had to overcome numerous obstacles or experienced oppression firsthand. Here we are, graduating college, achieving a dream that might have seemed unattainable. So let's rejoice and celebrate this milestone. I am incredibly honored to be a part of this graduating class, and I look forward to seeing how we make our mark in the world. Congratulations, class of 2015.
Your classmate, she did a wonderful job representing you.